Okay, we're going to try this again because I was having connectivity issues with that last one. So, anywho, let's give this a go. As I was saying in the beginning of the video I had to delete, I got the idea of doing this morning when I did the 3-card pull. Simply because things are they're kind of so up in the air right now. And everybody's energy is kind of all over the place. And we are all so susceptible to each other's energy. And what everybody that we are around or are immersed with or intertwined with, we are susceptible to all of that. And to each other's residue. Is that a good way to put that? Yeah, residue. We're going to call it that. And we don't realize how much of that actually rubs off on us. And you don't have to be in the same room. Okay, that happens online, y'all. That happens online too. You know, it doesn't have to be at your local Walmart. It happens online. It happens through TikTok. It happens through Instagram. It happens through X and Blue Sky and Facebook. And we don't realize how much that affects us. We don't realize how much we affect others. I mean, hell, I trigger people all the time. I don't know why, just by existing, I guess. You know, I mean, true story, y'all. I don't know why. I don't. I mean, I don't know if they know I'm aware, but I am. It's kind of funny because I don't understand it. But regardless, you know, it's one of those things where we affect others and others affect us. And with everything being the way it is right now, the only thing we can control is ourselves. And how we react to the energies that are around us. Hey y'all, hi Shara, hi Harley. All we can do is control how we react and what we allow in and how we transmute that energy. All we can do. Hi Anthony. That's all we can do. That's all we have control over, because we can't control somebody else's energy, nor should we want to. That shouldn't even be on our bingo card. The want or need to control somebody else's energy. Okay, that is A, taking on too much, and B, it's none of our business. Okay, we need to be more concerned with what we are putting out and taking in, as opposed to controlling somebody else. So we need to focus on ourselves, okay? And so that's, with doing that reading this morning, that was really what made me think about doing this, is because that is really what this retrograde needs to be about, is self-focus, self-healing, and self-propelling, which you have to do that in that order, okay? And by doing that, you gain so much more traction, and you gain such a better understanding of where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going. But you can't do any of that if you are immersed in the energy of others. And that is where the psychic protection comes in. And it sounds, hi Donna, it sounds all hocus pocus and, you know, witchy bitchy and, you know, hippy dippy, whatever you want to call it. Pick your 2-word phrase, okay? But in actuality, it's really old school, standard shielding and recognizing of energy fields. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay? Excuse me. And it's not it's not that difficult when you think about it in terms, in scientific terms. Okay? It's really not. It's not that difficult when you think about it in scientific terms, you know. And the easiest way to think about it is water, because you can visualize water. Okay? If you take a bowl of water and you look at a bowl of water from the top down, and you drop something in that bowl of water, and it has different weights to it. You drop something very heavy, it sinks to the bottom with the quickness, but it's still going to put out ripples. A different weight is going to sink slower, still going to put out ripples, but going to put them out at a different speed. Different weights, different size ripples, different speeds. Energy coming from others to you and from you to others works the same. Okay, do you see what I'm saying there? You are and others are the weight. And what comes off you and what comes to you is the ripples. So, depending on your frequency and your emotion that you put behind it will dictate the weight in which the energy drops to the bottom and forces the ripples out, and how they spread to others. Same for them, and how they spread to you. So the lesson in that is being mindful of the weight that you carry around within you. Is that making sense? Is how I'm putting that out there making sense? And the reason that I say being mindful of that weight of what you carry within you is because if you're carrying heavy energy, if you're carrying more than you should, whether it's coming from others or not, and you're not protecting yourself from others or protecting others from you, then you're not controlling how it is released and received. So it goes out with a force that can be brutal, hurtful, and it hurts not just them but you, because there is always backlash. And I think that that is something that people don't talk about enough. Okay? So psychic protection works many, many, many different ways. If you're protecting yourself, you're protecting others as well. And if you're protecting others, you're protecting yourself as well. Because we are all interconnected. We are all intertwined. You can't do one without the other. You can't. It doesn't work that way. Nature doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way, because there has to be a balance to it. You have to consider more than just yourself. Okay? So the best way I describe to people on how to do this is, and I've described this when it comes to learning how to read your own energy. And one of the best ways to do this is document how you feel when you are at home by yourself. What are you feeling? How are things going? What's in your head? Okay? Anything bothering you? Anything weighing you down? And if the answer is relatively okay, good, Donna, thank you very much. And good, I'm glad y'all are talking about it, because it's important. Okay? If you're relatively okay, Wonderful. All right. Then go to the store. And then tell me how you feel. If you're relatively okay, and then you go to the store, even if nothing happened the whole time you're there, but your energy level changes, even if nobody said any unkind word to you, even if nothing negative happened, but your energy changes, that's residue from somebody else. Okay? That's important. And they might not have meant it, but they weren't protecting themselves, therefore they weren't protecting you. You see what I'm saying there? They weren't protecting themselves, therefore they weren't protecting you. This is a mindful practice of being aware of your own energetic field and how it radiates out from you to another. Okay? Therefore, if you're aware of your energetic field, you are more aware of somebody else's energetic field and how it radiates from them out to you. You will know. You will notice. And it's very interesting. If you go to the drive-thru and you can tell when somebody is the person at the drive-thru is taking your order, and you can tell that probably the person in front of you has not been very kind. Okay? And you haven't had a bad day, but you can tell from the tone of the person at the drive-thru's voice that somebody has not been very kind to them. So when you get up there to hand them your money, make that extra effort to show kindness, to raise your vibration in order to share your kind energy and let it radiate from you, because it does one of two things. Actually, it does two of two things. A, it sends out a radiant positive energy towards them, which blocks any negative energy coming from them. Okay, so A, you've protected yourself. B, you have in turn helped raise their energy. You will notice a difference in them. You can, guys, it's palpable. You can see it. I've witnessed it. It has happened to me. I have watched it happen. I have listened to them speak to me one way because I know someone was just cruel to them. And then I get up to the drive-thru and I'm like, how you doing, darling? Here's my money. Thank you so much. And they're shocked that somebody was kind to them when somebody was just so rude. And just somebody being kind, their entire demeanor and voice changed, because they're not expecting that, and they needed that, and their energy raised. So A, I blocked any negativity coming towards me, and B, I helped raise their energy. And you know what? It's not just me out there doing that. Somebody's done it for me too, because I've been that person who had my energy down, and somebody was kind to me, and it raised me up. Therefore, they protected themselves and raised my energy. Okay? So that is psychic protection. It is not always surrounding yourself with white light. It is not always imagining yourself being guarded by angels. It can be, and if that's what you need, then by all means do it. But it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it is something as simple and mundane as kindness. Recognizing an energy level, not participating in it, keeping your vibration where it needs to be, and radiating out to raise in others. Sometimes it's that simple. Because, like I said, the results are twofold. You have protected yourself, and you have enhanced another. Does that make sense? Okay? Because I want to make sure that I'm explaining this in such a way that that it's understandable. This is especially important during a retrograde situation, because communication during a Mercury retrograde is difficult enough as it is. Whether that is during written communication, whether that is during verbal communication. Ashley, good. I'm glad. And I had a feeling, not necessarily for you in particular, I don't want to be that specific, but something told me this morning that this was necessary today. This particular topic was necessary today. And I think that we all need it. On a certain level, we really do. And it's for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter if it is politics, if it's holidays, if it's familial issues, because we all have all of that. We're all immersed in it. Nobody is immune to the troubles of today. And it will get worse, and it will get better, and it will get worse again. And as much as I want to say that things are going to get better and that everything's going to be hunky-dory, it is not. Okay? I want to believe that. And I want to tell you that it's going to, but it's not. Not for a while. So the only thing we can do is what we can do to make our situations as good as we possibly can as we move forward. And I don't mean just ourselves as individuals. I don't. When I say make our situations as best as we possibly can, I mean for everyone that we possibly can. It needs to be our purpose as individuals and society as a whole to touch as many lives in a positive fashion as we can. Let me read what you wrote here, Ashley. I have a lady on my nursing clinicals, and she is always so negative and has to share that with everyone every damn day. It makes, because ways just to hear her voice. I told another friend class. Okay, let's see here. Start praying for myself so I don't allow myself to react so negatively towards her. She drives me bonkers. I totally understand. And the thing is, and I honestly, I have to be very honest, I used to be so negative. Years ago, I'm embarrassed to say. I really am. And I mean, at least to me, I was unbelievably negative. I really was. I was still more positive than most. But to me, I was unbelievably negative. And it took a lot to get out of that. It took a lot to get out of that. And then there are some people out there that even on my worst day blow me out of the water with their negativity. Some have to be immersed in conflict. It is if they cannot function without conflict. And we've seen it for quite some time on social media. We've seen it, and it's shameful behavior, it really is, and I feel really bad for them. I feel really bad for people that have to live that way. I'm grateful that I don't, and I do feel bad for anyone who does. But I only feel so bad because it's a conscious choice. It's a conscious choice to feel that way. And if she feels that way, while it is unbelievably frustrating for you, and I know you know this, there's nothing you can do for her. There's nothing you can do for her. But what you can do is not let her affect you. That's what you can do. And I will tell you what I tell my son when somebody does something like that. Because your very first normal reaction is to engage. Which that is exactly what they want. Because they need it. Okay? But don't. Nod and smile. And if nodding and smiling doesn't work, you just look them straight in the face, straight in the eyes and say, did that help? Did you feel better? And you don't have to be angry. You don't even have to raise your voice. And when they have to acknowledge their own behavior, when they have to sit with their own behavior, they're less likely to do it. They might get mad for a minute, but let them. Because that's on them. And there's nothing you can do about it. Except you don't have to involve your energy. You don't. You don't have to, and you shouldn't. You know, that's really all you can do. Just next time she does it, you feel better now. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing what we need to do. If you need to do this again, you can go right over there. You know, it's some people have to express themselves in that fashion, and it's because they have to have an audience. Social media has taught us that. You know, the louder the voice, the emptier the word. That is what I have found. And I believe that to be one of the truest statements out there. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that, honey, and I wouldn't even worry about it. I wouldn't give it a second thought, truly. During this time, especially when you're dealing with things like that, protecting your energy is going to be of the utmost importance because you have bigger fish to fry, more important things on your plate. So, if you have to use, alternate things. Let me see here. It's more like a continual storytelling, so I need to figure out a way to politely remove myself from the situation, but during lecture, I can't just leave. Okay. Alrighty. No. Okay. Continual storytelling. If it is negative storytelling, I am going to dime myself out here. Absolutely. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you an example if this is what she's doing. Because I had a complaining problem. Because I allowed a certain level of behavior towards myself. And I shouldn't have. But I did. I allowed it. I allowed a certain level of behavior towards myself. And then I would chew over it and chew over it and chew over it and chew over it. And I was talking to my friend Rachel about it. And she finally got so... bless her. She got so sick of hearing about it. Because I have to work these things out in my brain. You know? Because I got to find out what part I played in it. What did I do wrong? Should I have seen certain things coming? You know, the whole kit and caboodle. And she looked over at me one day and she goes, Vanessa? And I said, yeah. And she goes, you sick of yourself yet? No joke. No joke. She sure did. And I was like, huh? And she goes, well, if you're just going to continue to let the behavior continue, why are you griping? Are you sick of yourself yet? And in that moment, I realized I was. So, yeah. I would ask her that. You sick of yourself yet? Oh, thank you, Dara. Thank you. Okay, so Ashley, I think that's why it drives me bonkers, because I was raised, if you don't like something, to do something to change it. Boom, right there. Get it, girl. Yes, exactly right. You see, and I raised myself to believe that same thing, but I would chew something to death until I work through it. But I was chewing this so far, I was choking on it. And I needed somebody to slap me out of it. And Rachel did. And bless her for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where that is part of psychic protection as well, is protecting that energy. Okay? Again, you're protecting you're protecting others by watching what you're putting out there. But you're protecting yourself by not allowing others' excesses into or onto you. Now, we need to take this one step further, okay? Especially during this time. When you know that you have been affected negatively, okay? When you know that you have been affected negatively through somebody else's energy, you have a responsibility to yourself to make sure that you get that off of you, okay? Whatever your mode of cleansing is what you need to do, whether it is through saging, whether it is through meditation smudging, whether it is through a salt bath, or a particular ritual cleansing, whatever you need to do that. It doesn't go away on its own, okay? And I am speaking from experience. I like to think it does, but it doesn't. So, listen to old girl, because I learned that shit the hard way, okay? So, that is extremely important, that when you do notice that you have that residue on you, you do need to take care of that. Probably one of the harder things to talk about is, and I will tell you that you're going to notice this more over the next, I would say, week and a half to 2 weeks. It is going to become more obvious to you who leaves more residue on you than others. That is what this retrograde is meant to show you. Okay? So this psychic protection, I think the reason that this was so important to talk about is it is meant to lift the curtain. Okay? It's meant to lift the curtain to show you where some of the negative energy has been coming from that you have been feeling but have been pushing away, have been trying to ignore, have been trying to act like it's not there. And you notice time and time and time again that it resurfaces and it becomes more difficult to get rid of. And this is the time over the next week and a half to 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, but definitely by the end of retrograde, you will notice that there is a pattern to it. Okay? That pattern is meant to be dealt with. So, take this time. Watch the signs. Protect your energy. Listen to your guides. Cleanse as needed. Watch your energy and how you are radiating it onto others. Because, and I'm going to be very honest, if you're watching this, yes, I'm talking to you, and I'm telling you that you are going to see the signs of those that you're meant to, that have been infecting you with their negative energy. But keep in mind, somebody else is going to be watching this, and you might be the one that they're needing to watch because you're infecting them. None of us are without fault. Okay? None of us are without fault. We all have things we need to work on. We all have things we need to work on. Okay? Self-included. So, if you feel that this resonates with you, if you feel you're the one that has the negative energy, work on that. Take this time. Take this time to clean yourself up. That is what this Mercury retrograde is for. That is what that reading was for. That is what this about psychic protection is for. Recognize how your energy goes out there. Recognize how you receive energy. How does it ripple away from you? How do you accept the ripples that come towards you? What can you do to alter how forceful you push that out and how greedy you pull it in? Think about those things, okay? These are all things that you have to work on as individuals because everybody does it different. If you have any questions on it, inbox me, okay? Because everybody does it different. There's no hard and fast rule. So if you have any questions, just inbox me, and I will get to it as quickly as I can, and I will give you tips and tricks on how to work on it for yourself, okay? But that is going to be the biggest thing, is working on how you push your energy out and working on how you receive others' energy in. Be mindful of that. Next 3 weeks are imperative on how you will run out the rest of the year. And that is going to affect how you do your first 6 months of 2025. You don't want to jack this up. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. Alright? I love you guys. I gotta go pee. So, I am going to talk to y'all later. Like I said, inbox me. I'll get to you as quick as I can. If you have any questions. And somebody come up with a topic for next week. Because this one was different. This one just kind of hit me. It was kind of important. And so I did it. Go back if you didn't see it. And look at the 3-card pull that I did for this morning for Mercury retrograde. And you will see why I did this tonight. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.